WrestlePod is supported by viewers like you. To support WrestlePod and the other programs on this channel, visit patreon.com/Ian Beaumont live and direct. So this past week we had WWE Extreme Rules. What did I make of it? Well, you will find out. Plus, we got news about a controversial figure making a return to WWE. All that and more coming up on WrestlePod right now. From Ian Beaumont, live and direct, this is WrestlePod. Welcome along, Ian Beaumont here, good to be with you once again. Bit late getting this recorded. Finished watching Extreme Rules, and I gotta say, I've also seen, many other reviews, and whilst I think most reviewers have got it right in the fact that it's not a great pay-per-view, it wasn't really that bad. There were a couple of god-awful matches. And sadly, they were both the women's matches. There were a couple of matches. There were only 3 matches went over 10 minutes. So most of the matches on the card felt like TV matches, not pay-per-view ones. But to be honest, as I say, apart from a couple of clunkers, and the fact that you had the 3 long ones all were, pretty damn good, and in one case, much better than expected. The other matches, the short ones, they all felt alright, watchable, mediocre, nothing great, but, certainly this was not as bad as Backlash. Backlash earlier this year, I did that as a live stream. That was a mistake. I struggled with that. Hence why I've switched to just doing reviews after the fact, because that live stream just did not put me off doing live streams. So, this is an okay pay-per-view. It wasn't great, wasn't bad. It was just okay. It's fine, watchable. That's about it. That's about all I can say about it, though, in terms of the quality of the thing. Let's go through the individual matches. First off, on the pre-show, the kickoff, you had Andrade Cien Almas versus Sin Cara. This was, I really think this was a match that didn't need to happen. Because it just happened on SmackDown as well. I didn't need to see it again, but you got it was an okay match. Again, nothing special about it. Zelina Vega distracted Sin Cara towards the end. It was enough to allow Almas to perform a running double knee smash, who was seated in the corner. After that, you had the hammerlock DDT for the win, and Andrade Cien Almas would pick up the victory on the kickoff show. Next up, New Day versus Sanity in the tables match. I must admit, this was definitely better than the other kickoff show match, but it was short. It was only 8 minutes, so it really didn't have like a lot of time to do a lot of bits. But I will say it was a good match. Probably it's the only short one that actually kind of made it above kind of like mediocre up to good. It was a good match. Alexander Wolf was restraining Kofi Kingston at the end there, trying to, setting up for Eric Young to execute a diving elbow drop onto Kingston through a table to win the match. Quite a good little match. It was a wonderful spot where you had Kofi and Xavier do go over the top rope, land on two of the members of Sanity, and I think it was Young and Wolf who got on the receiving end, and then Killian Dane, the big guy, goes tope suicida through between second and third top rope, and oh my god, oh man, did that look something! That was a hell of a thing. But it was probably about. That was definitely a much better match, in my view. Okay, so on to the main card itself. Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt defending the Raw Tag Team Championships against the B Team, Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. Surprised this was the opener. Very surprised this was the opener. I mean, once I saw what they planned to do, it was like, okay, I get why this one opened. If you're gonna start on a match, there's a little bit of a, you either start on a good multi-man match to pick up the to get some high intensity action, something like a triple threat or a fatal 4-way, or a 6-pack, something like that. So you could do something like that, or you can do like a tag team match that they work best as openers. This was a little bit of a slow opener, I felt. I didn't really feel like this had any didn't really have a lot of heat to it. Didn't really have a lot that interested me in that sense. But yes, Bo Dallas pushed at the end. Bo Dallas pushed Matt Hardy into Bray Wyatt, who was on the apron. So Bray Wyatt got knocked off. Bo Dallas then performed an elevated whiplash on Matt Hardy for the win. Quite a surprise, actually. First bit of predictions I got wrong. Because I honestly thought they were not going to take it off the Deleted Worlds at this point. But I can't say I was unhappy with the title change. I think it worked quite well. So, yeah. But again, it was only a mediocre match. Finn Balor against the Constable Baron Corbin. Quite like the fact that in this match, Corbin had about 2/3 of the offense, really. He did dominate in that sense, but it didn't feel too overpowering on Finn. But it just felt like it felt reasonable. It made sense. Definitely there was a feeling at one point that Corbin would pick up the victory here. When he hit that deep six, I did think it was over. I know it's never. I don't think it's ever been actually used as a finisher, the deep six, but I actually thought at the precise moment it went down, oh, that's gonna be it. They're gonna run this one real short. No, wasn't quite. Was quite nice. Both guys going for their big moves like End of Days and the coup de grace. Neither one able to hit it. Hit their big moves, their finishers. So in the end, Finn actually pinned Baron with a small pack. Well, they say it was a small package. Was it? I think it was an inside cradle. I mean, some people say it was a small package because of the story that was, Baron was tall, Finn was small. But actually, it looked more like an inside cradle, a small package. But yeah, that was what got Balor the victory. Corbin very unhappy about it. I was fine with it. If I remember correctly, I picked Finn on that one. So that's 3 out of 4 at this point. First of the bad matches, Carmella versus Asuka with James Ellsworth suspended above the ring in the shark cage. If you're going to do this properly, if you're going to make the stipulation have some meaning, you do not want Ellsworth dropping a chain out of the cage in about a minute. That was, I thought, really, really bad. I did not like I didn't like the whole Ellsworth angle here. I mean, I got nothing against James Ellsworth as a performer. He's damn good. He knows his role very well. So he's very good at what he does. But I think he dropped down the spray as well, whether it was like a mace or a hairspray or something like that. For Carmella to use. That didn't work either. That got countered. And then, so finally he had to resort to a smuggled in lockpick, and he picked the lock. But he then tried to escape the cage, but was left dangling from the cage floor by his foot. And unfortunately, you can see he was harnessed. That's brutal. You don't want to really have your tricks revealed. And unfortunately, even before the match even started, you could see one camera caught the strap at the bottom that James Ellsworth was going to be attached to. I was like, oh, for crying out loud. Spill the beans on everything. Why don't you? No, that was poor. I mean, I can't say much against Carmella and Asuka themselves. They did what they needed to do, but I really didn't like the fact that they lowered the cage down to a point where it was perfect, where the bottom of the cage was perfectly at head height for Asuka to hit it. But it wasn't really low enough for them to actually unhook James Ellsworth safely. So that was stupid. I didn't like it. So Carmella shoves Asuka into that bit of the cage. I mean, she gets her hands up to minimize the impact. But she catches enough of it to be out. And 1, 2, 3. Carmella retains. And I think at this point, Asuka has been completely... what's the word I'm looking for? Nullified as a threat to anyone. She has no real sense of being, she was an unstoppable force in NXT, and for the early part of her run in the on the main roster. Now she feels like a joke. That's not good. After the match, Asuka did apply the Asuka lock on Ellsworth. That was kind of fun, but too little, too late, way too late. Jeff Hardy defends the United States Championship next against Shinsuke Nakamura. I love the way Greg Hamilton, the ring announcer for SmackDown, always introduces Shinsuke with that, the way he says that. Shinsuke Nakamura. It's brilliant. I love that. It's a stupid little thing on my... But I love that. So you have the ref holding up the title. So as he turns away from the combatants to hand the belt off to the guys at ringside, Nakamura runs up behind Jeff Hardy and hits the low blow, the Kinshasa, whatever you want to call it. He hits that low blow. He goes, alright, let me try and tie this in. Where does, it's Cameron, North Carolina. So yeah, he goes South Carolina on Jeff Hardy, and Jeff. I mean, the ref doesn't see the actual low blow, but sees that Hardy is hurting and says, "Are you all right? And do you want to go on with the match?" Jeff says yes. The bell is rung. Kinshasa 1, 2, 3, and that was a 6-second match. I mean, I have to say, I can't rate it any higher than watchable, but fun, because it was a little bit fun. It was a little bit unusual to have this 6-second match. But it told a good story. in its own little way. The fact that Shinsuke got the low blow in before the match even started this time. Which I thought was really good. And Hardy trying to gut it out. Deciding to go with it. Bella's wrong, and then almost immediately Shinsuke makes him pay by hitting a Kinshasa and the 1, 2, 3, and bang! Match is over. I mean, it's not quite Victory Road 2011. And believe me, nothing could be quite Victory Road 2011. But it was surprisingly fast. 1, 2, 3, done. Yeah, was a fun little. It is a match, but I really want to say it was just a fun little segment. Because 6 seconds, it's not much of a match. But at least it was fun, and it told the story it needed to tell without wasting any time on, silly stuff. Really concise. Maybe a little too concise for a lot of people. I don't care. I think it works. I think it works. And that really is about the most you can expect out of a 6-second match. It works. It works with what it was doing, the story it was telling. It worked. Can't say better than that. Steel cage match next. Kevin Owens against Braun Strowman. I really, I like steel cage matches. I'm surprised there aren't more of them anymore. Because it's a fairly simple structure. It's not like the Hell in a Cell or the Elimination Chamber. It's a fairly simple structure, and the funny thing about that I see now with people talking about steel cage matches in various comments of YouTube and on Facebook and things like that. It's basically a lot of people saying, oh, you shouldn't have a cage, you shouldn't have a door on the cage. Well, how do you expect them to get in the first place? There needs to be a door. Don't be stupid. I quite like this. I quite like this. I mean, in history, it used to be that the only way to do a cage match originally was the only way you could win was actually by escaping the cage, either through the door or over the top of the cage. You could, in theory, I don't think this has ever been done, but you could have a steel cage match where you let them in through the door, but but then you completely... Oh, no, I think there have been, actually. There have been a couple of matches, at least, where they've locked the door. And you can't actually get out that way, so you have to go over the top. I'm quite in favor of actually having that the cage door be completely locked, and to have, I'm in favor of that being that's an option I'd use. Say, no, you will be locked inside. The door will be padlocked shut. And that will be that. I'd be quite in favor of that. But you gotta have the door there to let them into the cage in the first place. Otherwise, it's pretty pointless. So yeah, or what? You have them just go, enter the ring, and then have that cage come down, and then you have to watch them get attaching it. No, just have the door in the damn cage. But yeah, this was a fun little match. I mean, Owens trying to avoid contact at the start, quite like that. Braun basically calling him a coward and telling him to fight me. So that was good. And then Owens actually stepping up and actually fighting. Yeah, that was the story that was told in this match was a good one. I didn't mind it at all. I thought it was great. By the time we got to what I'll call the end sequence, it's a little convoluted, but this is with Braun, it's kind of expected. Owens basically used handcuffs to handcuff Strowman to the ring rope, and actually performed a couple of moves on him while he was attached to the rope. Owens gets up, walks across to the diagonally opposite corner. Braun is trying to shout across it, "Hey, Braun! And then as he goes and does a crotch chop, like a DX crotch chop, tells him to suck it, and then blows him a kiss, CM Punk style. I thought, oh, that's bad. That's bad. I mean, I get what you're going for, but God, no. Don't do those sorts of things. Just do a little see ya. That would have been enough, but no, not the DX crotch chop, not the CM Punk. Bye. Blowing the kiss. That was just too much. I didn't like that at all. So Owens starts climbing up. Strowman breaks the handcuffs, chases after him. They're perched on the top of the cage. Ew, I hate those spots from the top of the cage. Well, there'll be one in every match, but my God. It's usually better if it's from there inside the ring. It's not as far. This one went from Braun Strowman chokeslammed Kevin Owens through the announce table. Oh, bloody hell. God, did that look brutal. That was a bump and a half. I can honestly say I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that Strowman lost the match by doing that, because Kevin Owens, you actually saw it in one shot. Both his feet were on the floor. You stupid sweat brawn. Yeah, that finish was a bit bad. Well, a lot bad. Just in terms of the stupidity of it. It was bad. But yeah. I think overall, I have to say the match was mediocre. But I'm not going to give it much more than that. Because that finish took the edge off what should have been quite a good match. But yeah. Wasn't by the end. Bludgeon Brothers Team Hell No for SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Here, we had a moment earlier in the night where Harper and Rowan had kayfabe injured Kane's ankle. So Bryan initially competes alone in this match. Kane appeared towards the end. Had the big, the big boot on that you wear when you got like a broken ankle or what's that? Broken leg. Yeah, if you got a broken lower leg, you have this boot that you wear as well. It's bloody, it's a brutal looking boot. I hate them. They are heavy as hell. Yeah, it was. I mean, the match itself was. I mean, Daniel Bryan being Daniel Bryan, he's always great. But we didn't really have, as I say, much of a match here. Harper and Rowan did well. They did well enough. Let's put it that way. But I really didn't like the way the match went overall. Powerbomb, diving clothesline combination, the old devastation device that the Legion of Doom used to use. The Bludgeon Brothers have been given that as a finisher. Hey, I'm okay with that. It's quite effective for the two of them. But yeah, devastation device for the 1, 2, 3 on Bryan, and title stays with the Bludgeon Brothers. Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley. And as it turns out, probably that was a nothing match with literally nothing on the line. It was the first match of the night that went over 10 minutes. It almost hit 15. I was quietly impressed. This was more like the Bobby Lashley we used to see in Impact Wrestling and TNA. Because this was much more like what he used to do there. Much, much better. I liked it. I liked. We hadn't really seen that much from him during this WWE run, and this was the first time he actually got to show off a little bit. And Reigns was quite good too, as well. Don't get me wrong, Reigns played his part. But again, I think the match was good. And that's about all I can say, because it felt like a TV main event type thing. It wasn't really that long of a match in that sense. But no, we've had some quite good moments there. Spine buster by Lashley, delayed vertical suplex, which the crowd did not pop for at all. I was really sad for that because they used to pop big for that when it was done by the British Bulldog back in the day. Lashley, nah. That got a near fall. Reigns hit a Superman punch for a near fall. Lashley performed I don't know what Reigns was looking to do in kayfabe when he went on the outside of the ring. He was one side of the ring, Lashley was the other, and it was like, whoa, and then runs around the ring. Lashley catches him, overhead belly to belly suplex. He goes. I think it was on the German announce table. In fact, that's the point I want to bring up. The German announce table got 2 spots on it that night. The main one got 1. The one with Strowman and Owens. The Spanish announce table, the one that always gets destroyed every single pay-per-view, actually survived for once. Completely untouched and unscathed. No spots. I think, I don't know whether Carlos Cabrera and Marcelo Rodriguez actually said, we don't want any spots this time, and they went, okay, yeah, we'll let you go this time. But for years, ever since they started having the Spanish announce table at ringside at pay-per-views, which was about like 20 years ago, I think, maybe a little more, but certainly around the time of the Attitude Era. So many spots used to be Spanish announce table once per, at least once per pay-per-view would get destroyed. Not this time. Big surprise there. So yeah, that the belly-to-belly suplex onto the German announce table, which didn't break. That was surprising. Lashley on the top rope, Reigns comes in, hits a Superman punch, and you think, oh, that's setting up the end of the match. Well, it is, but not the way you were expecting. You think, oh, Roman's gonna hit a spear, and it's gonna be the 1, 2, 3, Roman wins, lol. No. Reigns went for the spear, only for Lashley to hit one of his own. And 1, 2, 3 for the win. Wow. I did not call that one. So, yeah, in the prediction stakes at the moment, I am actually 1, 2, 3 down and 6 up. That's pretty good. I get a little bit better at the end of this. We got a few more to go. Alexa Bliss, who was accompanied by Mickie James, defending the Raw Women's Championship against Nia Jax, who was accompanied by Natalya in an Extreme Rules match. This was a bad match. I can't say... I mean, there were 1 or 2 moments. I think some of the chair shots were weak. I think one of the trash can shots was quite weak as well. It didn't look very good at all. I really did not like the fact that basically, again, we got into this way too quickly. The match only went 7.5 minutes. You need to give it 10 minutes plus on an Extreme Rules. You need to build things up, and there just wasn't the time allowed for it. So I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed, actually, because it feels like we are not, we weren't we put they put too many matches on the card, and they had it scheduled for 4 hours. It only ran about 3 hours 40. So surprisingly, it ran a bit short. I was fully expecting this to run long. But yeah, I mean, Ronda Rousey, this was the other element in this match. Ronda Rousey was in the audience. She'd been seen at the start. She apparently was posting quite a bit on Instagram through the evening, what she was watching. And when she jumped the barricade, okay, yeah, the match got more fun at that point. I must admit, I liked the fact that when the kendo stick hit her from behind, Mickie James at least made that look really good, and Rousey sold it really well as well. That looked like a significant shot. But yeah, the match ended with Alexa Bliss DDT Nia Jax onto a steel chair to retain the title. I mean, I called the Bliss retention, but to be honest, this was a bit of an overbooked clusterfox, as I like to call them. It really was. It was a bit too overbooked. You knew it was gonna be, and a degree of that is fine. I think maybe they just went a bit too far on that. But I don't know. That's just my thought. I don't know what you think. Do you agree with me that it was overbooked or not? Leave a comment down below and tell me. Do you think the Bliss Jax match was overbooked? AJ Styles, Rusev. I like this match. WWE Championship on the line here. Aiden English was, of course, accompanying Rusev. Good introduction, once again, from Aiden. He's really good in that role. And you know what? Even if he doesn't work out as a wrestler, he could actually do ring announcing quite easily. I wouldn't mind seeing that. The story of this match was Rusev's left leg, which Styles had a plan. Again, this is part of the story. Styles had a plan to go after that left leg, mainly because he thought, well, I can then hit the calf crusher on that. But instead of kind of any feeling out, he went straight to it. No messing around. And I think what that did was it put over the fact that in AJ's mind, Rusev is a serious damn competitor. Serious enough for him not to do the usual feeling out and all that. No. Straight to the plan. Boom. Those stiff kicks to the thigh. That left thigh. Really, really stiff kicks. And Rusev, to his credit, sold like a champ on this. Didn't oversell, didn't undersell, sold it just right the whole way. I loved this match. I can call it a great match. But again, about as far as I can go. Simply because of the, again, it was a little bit overbooked. But the storytelling was so good. But yeah, there was a little bit of overbooking on this, and I'm not sure it needed it. The match didn't need it. I suppose the story that they're going to tell with Rusev and Aiden English will, but you know what? I wasn't certain this needed to be in this match. Especially with the way it turned out. Okay, so let's run through the last bits of the match. You have, so from the calf crusher, English, Rusev's crawling along. English pushed the ring rope out to him. Rusev grabbed to break the hold. Styles chased English, then allowing Rusev to perform an overhead belly-to-belly suplex on the floor, on Styles. And then a match to kick in the ring for a near fall. Styles kind of gets up from that. As he's getting up, Aiden English is in the corner ripping the turnbuckle pad off the turnbuckle. So you've got that ring exposed. So he kind of stumbles Styles stumbles into one corner. Suddenly realizes, whoops, I'm in the wrong corner. Stumbles across to the other corner. Rusev comes in and hits the exposed turnbuckle, which enables Styles to perform a 450 splash, but that only got a near fall. That was not enough. Exposed turnbuckle plus 450 splash was still a near fall. Styles performed a baseball slide on English to get him out of the way, and then finally a phenomenal forearm on Rusev to retain the title. 1, 2, 3. There you go. I really like this match. For me, this ended up being match of the night. And even though I will rate the next one as great as well, for me the finish just let it down. Which is why I'm calling the WWE title match my match of the night. So yeah, main event, Dolph Ziggler, Seth Rollins, 30-minute Iron Man match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship with Drew McIntyre in the corner of Dolph Ziggler. very early going. First 5 minutes was a lot of feeling out. Very gentle process. You know, this is the thing. Iron Man matches always have a slow start. You can't have a fast start with an Iron Man match. It doesn't work. But yeah, I like the fact that you got the buckle bomb at about the 5 minute mark, or just a bit after. And the pin was a La Magistral. Make the score 1-0 to Seth Rollins. Couple of minutes later, Rollins hits a stomp. 1, 2, 3. That's 2-0. McIntyre then attacks Rollins. The referee awards a fall to Rollins by disqualification. And one of the commentators was saying, ring the bell. No, this is an Iron Man match. The time limit is the thing. You do not, disqualification falls do not mean you ring the bell. Referee ejected McIntyre, who then hit a Claymore on Rollins even before leaving. Ziggler makes his way across, pins Rollins 1, 2, 3. He's down 3-1. Then, as Rollins gets up, he hits a super kick 3-2. Throws Rollins then into the ring post, hits a zigzag 3-3, and I think we're still at least 15 minutes to go at this point. One more pin. About 17 minutes in, and it's 4-3. Then we had a long period where no falls happened. Rollins was hitting big move after big move after big move, and Ziggler was always kicking out at 2. I was expecting something else to happen, though it did. Rollins catapulted Ziggler into the corner and did like a sunset flip part so that he was pinning him that way. 1, 2, 3, tied at 4. Hits a super kick and a stomp in the final seconds, but time expires before he can make the pin. Therefore, a draw at 4-4. Raw General Manager Kurt Angle comes out, orders the match restarted under sudden death overtime rules, and here's where things went south. Because up to this point, it had been a really great match. And I would have called it match of the night. And then you had this sudden McIntyre appearing out of the crowd from nowhere, distracting Rollins, Ziggler hitting the zigzag 1, 2, 3, and sudden death overtime lasted 10 seconds. What a letdown! No, seriously, what a letdown. You want at least a good couple of minutes of overtime, rather than just this quick 10-second thing. I did not like that. Hence why it's my number 2 match of the night, rather than my number 1 match of the night, which is AJ Styles Rusev. So yeah, there you go. That was Extreme Rules. Wow. What a disappointment. A lot of nothing matches. 2 absolutely dire ones. 2 really good ones. One just let down by a lame-ass finish. Really lame-ass. I did not like it at all. Really disappointed at the end. I can only give the whole card a watchable. Because really, that's about all it was. It was watchable. I can't say it was poor. That went to Backlash. Backlash was poor. But this was watchable, but it was so disappointing, really. I mean, one thing a lot of reviewers have picked up on is the fact that at about the 6-minute mark, the crowd started counting down like Royal Rumble style. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And because there was no buzzer, they made their own buzzer noise. I thought that was funny. I didn't think that was disrespectful. It certainly didn't, to my mind, it didn't feel disrespectful. It felt like, because there was one point, I think there was one point where the pin was like was just happening like at 10 seconds before the last, before that minute expired. So you heard the crowd count along 1, 2, 3, yay! 3, 2, 1, ha! Which I thought was funny as hell. I like that. I really did. I do not feel that was. I don't feel they were bored. I don't put it down to being through boredom. I put it down to the fact that they realized the minutes are gonna be and they were getting into the match through the fact that this clock was counting down. So they were into the match. It's just they came into it in a different way. And I think that's fine. So I'm not gonna I heard a lot of negative comments about the crowd. I really didn't think the crowd were that bad. There were a few slightly out of place chants, but it was kind of understandable for how bad some of the matches were. But I think they were into that Iron Man match, and I don't feel they ruined the match. I know other people do, but no, I don't think they did. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Extreme Rules. And it's about 3 hours, 40 minutes of my life I won't get back. That's about all I can say. Now, Sunday was a very big day in the world of pro wrestling, not just because of that, but there was a rather surprising development. Very, very early morning UK time, but Saturday evening in Cleveland, Ohio, Hulk Hogan was spotted in the airport at Cleveland. He'd flown in, apparently, alongside Jimmy Hart. And there was talk, there was speculation that he might be heading over to Pittsburgh. Maybe make a surprise return to Extreme Rules. But yeah, Hogan on his personal Twitter was kind of throwing people off the scent a bit. But, you know, he wasn't revealing details. And then just before Extreme Rules happened, WWE issued the following statement. After a 3-year suspension, Hulk Hogan has been reinstated into the WWE Hall of Fame. The second chance follows Hogan's numerous public apologies and volunteering to work with young people, where he is helping them learn from his mistake. These efforts led to a recent induction into the Boys and Girls of America Boys and Girls Clubs of America Alumni Hall of Fame. Then he posted a little something on Twitter after the thing was announced. It was, that was about 8 o'clock, I think, UK time, somewhere around that time. And about an hour later, Hulk Hogan just met with the WWE superstars, and on all levels, the volume of love and support was overwhelming. I've been praying for this day, and I finally feel like I made it back home. Only love for the WWE Universe, brother, HH. Which is his way of, always signing off tweets that he does himself. He signs them HH. Apparently, the report came out from PW Insider that the Hall of Famer issued a formal apology to the locker room for the comments that were he made when a tape was leaked in 2015 that included him using the M word from years previous. He apologized for hurting people and also the embarrassment he brought to the company. He told talent to always beware of what they say because there are cameras everywhere these days. That is so true. Hogan reportedly got a positive response, shook hands with many of the talent. Meanwhile, he then took, after Extreme Rules, he took a flight home to Tampa. WWE are aware that about a large portion of the fan base, me included, haven't really forgiven him for his racist comments, and are not happy that the company has decided to reinstate him back into the Hall of Fame. I wouldn't say I'm not happy about it, but you could have held it off a little bit longer. So WWE are wanting to take this slow. Very not surprising really, but they are really being very, very cagey about this whole process. Nothing was mentioned other than a little bit on the kickoff show. That was the only mention of it. Nothing was mentioned at Extreme Rules itself. Now, we understand that Hogan hasn't signed a new deal with the company yet, but he is expected to return in some sort of ambassador type role with some special appearances on television. At 64, Vince McMahon, I do not believe, is going to approve a Hulk Hogan return to the ring. That just isn't going to happen. Mark Henry then revealed that there's a 50-50 split amongst the black talent, with some saying to hell with him. Mark Henry issued these comments to TMC Sports, saying Hogan made an announcement, he apologized, he's done a lot of stuff with Boys and Girls Club, but I didn't want to lose track of the fact there's more work to be done. Some reports have said that there were cameras there for a WWE Network special. Some reports now are saying, no, that's not the case. There's a lot of talk about what happened between Titus O'Neil now and Hulk Hogan backstage, where apparently Hogan offered a hand and Titus refused it. He wasn't booked for Extreme Rules. Apparently, all talent were required to be there for this meeting, but any talent who had no other business there just left after it. So an O'Neil didn't stick around. There's a post on O'Neil's Instagram, which I want to read. Kind of interesting. It doesn't really say a lot, but it does. It doesn't really say it a lot openly, but it does allude to a lot. Quote, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Galatians 6:9. Consistency is the key to break through in anything we desire in life. Love God, love others, love yourself, give unselfishly, and work tirelessly to make the world and people around you better, and in due season you will prosper, through the fruits of good deeds, thoughts, and labor. I know and continue to pray that my sons will seek positive ways to impact those around them, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, religion, or political stance. Anything is possible when genuine people come together and operate in truth. I have never respected the person that doesn't operate in truth when it comes to making a wrong into a right with genuine motives. And I wouldn't ever teach my sons to accept that either. So that says he's questioning, basically, it says he's questioning Hulk Hogan's motives for this. The New Day have also released a statement. It was a tweet from Kofi Kingston. And let me read this as well, because I think it's quite interesting. To the WWE Universe and whoever else it may concern, this will be the only statement we will make regarding Hogan's reinstatement into WWE's Hall of Fame. We do not wish to spend the energy debating the point, because between our kids, our external ventures, and this job, our energy is spread thin enough already. Lol. We are only writing this simply to provide an answer to the many who have bombarded us with questions on where we stand on the issue. We preface this statement by emphasizing that this is our own opinion and may not necessarily reflect the opinion of anyone else affected. How do we feel? Indifferent. We are not happy or sad, angry or resentful. Who WWE puts into the Hall of Fame is totally and completely up to the company. And from a career standpoint, there is no argument on whether or not Hogan should have his place. We have no problem with his reinduction in the slightest degree. It is impossible to even begin to mention the history and evolution of the business without mentioning his name and accolades. On a personal level, when someone makes racist and hateful comments about any race or group of people, especially to the degree that Hogan made about our people, we find it difficult to simply forget, regardless of how long ago it was, or the situation in which those comments were made. But we also do not respond with more feelings of hate. Instead, we just do not associate with the people who convey or have conveyed this negative and hurtful mindset. This instance will be no different. Perhaps if we see him make a genuine effort to change, then maybe our opinion of him will change with him. Time will tell. Through the course of our lives, people have used racist comments towards us, and it doesn't feel good. But if we stop moving forward every time we were met with prejudicial hatred, then we would never have achieved our current accomplishments. We know we are worth it. We know our kids are worth it. And more importantly, we know that people that look like us are worth it. And always have been. There isn't a person on this planet who will ever be able to say anything to make us think otherwise. Because we believe in ourselves as people and don't need anyone's approval on that, regardless of who they are. Having said that, his reinstatement won't change anything for us. It will have zero effect on our ability to perform or the level of effort we will put into doing what we love to do. And this is to deliver an entertaining product each week for our fan base. Sincerely, The New Day. Never trade your authenticity for approval. So it seems Hulk Hogan is still a controversial figure in WWE. What do you think on all this? I'm genuinely interested to know. I want to hear from all sides of this. Because at the moment, I am split right down the center on this, and I do not know which way I am going. So please, drop some comments down. Let's talk. Let's discuss this. No hate, no thing. Just, what do you feel on this Hulk Hogan situation? Be honest. I would love that. So there's one other piece of news I want to bring you, and that is a rather unexpected piece of news regarding Impact in the UK. We are now getting the Fight Network in the UK. It's launching on Showcase TV, which is on Sky Channel 192, Freesat Channel 161. Peter Einstein, the COO of Anthem Sports and Entertainment, parent company of both the Fight Network and Impact Wrestling, said, "We are delighted to expand Fight Network's global footprint to the UK. The UK is rooted in combat sports tradition, producing many world champions and memorable personalities over the years. Our diverse programming will line up with showcase premium combat sports content from around the world while highlighting local stars and events, and we plan to bolster our schedule with more exciting content over the next few months." They will start kind of at 9 p.m. every night. You will get the live simulcast of Impact Friday mornings, Thursday nights, 1 a.m. With primetime repeats Friday and Saturdays at 9 p.m. Also, Explosion airs, and British Boot Camp will air as well. You'll be able to watch this online as well. If you go to www.information.tv and click on the link there, which will say, I think, either Watch Showcase TV or Watch Live. So that's quite something. So yeah, quite something. I'm interested to see whether they will eventually take a full-time channel of their own and get added to Virgin as well, or whether they'll try and get on Freeview as well. That's another possibility. But yeah, lots of potential there. But yeah, Live Impact Friday nights. Oh, Thursday nights. Wow. How does this affect the Channel 5 situation? Well, I have to say I'm a little surprised by this development. I believe a while ago we heard that they'd actually extended their contract with Channel 5 in the UK to air on Fire Spike, and it's still showing on the schedule for this coming Friday at 11:05. So obviously there's sort of some non-exclusivity thing going on. But yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a shocker. Very surprised about that. But yeah, that's pretty much how it is. It's going to be quite a thing now, so that we got, Impact airing the same day, the same time as in the US. So now we've got Raw, SmackDown, and Impact all airing live on simulcast. UK as US. That's a shocker. Also, coming up a week on Saturday, 28th of July, World of Sport Wrestling returns to ITV. I'm going to do reviews of all of them. They're going to be long. I think they're all 2-hour shows. They're going to be long shows, but we will see. But yeah, reviews of World of Sport Wrestling coming up here. SummerSlam, I'm going to look to do the live stream again. But I don't know whether I'll keep doing that for anything, whether I'll do that only for like SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania, or whether I will go back to doing the monthly ones. Because I don't know yet. We'll see. But yeah, that's WrestlePod for this week. Bit of a long one. Thank you very much for your company. Like, share, subscribe, support me on Patreon, patreon.com/Ian Beaumont Live and Direct. Like us on Facebook. Details in the description. So, until next time, thanks very much for watching. Stay sharp. Stay tuned.